I love what I do.
As the old saying goes,
I have a job here, so we'll get this knocked out.
when you love your job,
You set your axis wheel first, find the power of the lens.
won't work a day in your life.
I guess I average about 45 to 48 hours a week.
For Stephen Crowley, his life is like a lens in his lap.
Is it big or small?
Rough at first, but fine and polished by the end.
The glass is always half full with me.
Steve and his buddy Howard craft sight.
Because I love making something. Giving people vision is really rewarding. I mean, it really is.
But take a second to look at the maker and go back just over 30 years to find a past even the best prescription couldn't see.
My sister came home and she was raped by another individual. And in my haste, I went out there to deal with it, and the gentleman died. You know, you bite the bullet and you deal with it, you know. So it's kind of a touchy subject for me. Sorry about that.
At 19 years old, Steve was sentenced to 60 years for murder.
When I first got that sentence, I actually told the judge, you know, I'm going to come out of here a better man.
Because of day-for-day time, Steve served 30 years, the last leg of which was here in Dixon. Inside these secure walls hides what formed the Steve Crowley we know today.
Approximately, we produce 350,000 pairs of glasses a year. You have people that are keying in prescription orders already.
About 1,800 pairs of glasses are made here every day.
I run it like a business. I have foremans, I have line supervisors, I have people
Chris Melvin is the boss man to the 100 inmates that work the lab.
They're treated like men, they're treated like adults, they're treated like part of the team.
A team creating prescription glasses for thousands of Medicaid patients across the state.
It's a real work experience where you clock in. You forget about where you're at while you're in here at least 6 to 10 hours a day. I've been working in the industry for almost 2 years in October.
And Thirso Garcia is one of the problem solvers in the lab.
You know, you have to wake up at a certain hour. You have to leave at a certain hour. Those things are essential to being able to relate to work to a job outside.
It's the real world in here, testing these men to see how they'll stack up when they re-enter society.
I've been employed within the correctional industry since 2011.
Sean Manuel is the optical foreman.
Coming in, I didn't know anything about lenses. You know, I learned like everybody. I started as a porter. I worked my way up in assembly.
Sean, Thirso, and many other inmates here have passed the American Board of Opticianary exams, which allows them to become professional opticians when they're released.
I feel a sense of accomplishment that we're getting a lot of bang for our buck by doing this.
This serves as a second chance while cutting the state's recidivism rate.
I really hope this sheds light to the wonderful program that we have here.
It's a dream builder for each and every one of these guys.
Knowing what I know, in 10 years, I really hope to be able to export and import from Mexico to the U.S.
I just see a lot of good things in the future.
And a dream builder for those who've served their time.
All of this happened for a reason.
Steve is crafting his own vision.
Okay.
Opening his own lab.
I like to think about guys that are getting out. How can I help them?
Stephen Crowley was a man with all the odds stacked against him. But today, Steve is living proof that when a vision and opportunity are presented, no dream is out of sight.
Yeah, we can take it from there.
It would not be a very good thing because eventually what would happen is your body couldn't absorb nutrients.
We've all been there.
Yes.
Calcium chloride?
Calcium chloride, calcium carbonate, things like that.
Teachers, homework, tests, notes, rules, enough to drive a teenager at Mercer County High School up the wall. Or drive them to the nearest fishing hole.
It's kind of a rush.
19 and a half. Yeah, buddy.
I haven't seen one bigger than that.
What is it?
16 and a half.
Dang.
Who needs pads, a ball, or cleats when you've got a pole, boots, and some water?
It's just fun, I guess you'd call it.
The masterminds behind the Mercer County High School's bass fishing team?
You know how much grief we're going to catch from people when you put this on the...
Superintendent's going to say, what are we doing?
Mr. Aaron Hart and John Swain. the real catch of this story began back in early spring.
The first night that we start building rods, they'll put on the cork candles. And what you're going to do is you're just going to get a wave going.
You could say this is where the real coaching's done.
Push the brush in there. There you go. A lot of them that come in are interested in fishing, and they've probably done a lot of fishing maybe on their own.
Aaron Hart and John Swank said, the heck with buying fishing poles, let's make them. Their own rods, their own bait, on their own time.
One little small mistake, you have to restart, and it gets really irritating.
Austin McGuire is a sophomore who's been fishing for as long as he can remember, but never has he done anything quite like this.
Right now I'm wrapping the guides on, which is what the fish string goes through.
Well, like all sports, perfection doesn't come overnight.
Yeah.
Cassie Doyle will tell you.
Yeah, it's definitely hard because if you don't get the lines just right, they'll snap on you and then you got to start it all over again.
Aside from that,
the kids really get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
These kids will tell you the first thing you need to know about fishing is a little luck goes a long way.
You're going to have some luck to catch that real big one. Even watching the bass fishing on TV and everything, that they'll tell you it's got to take that one lucky fish to get your first place.
In first place is what Alex Brown and Noah Price are aiming for.
I hope so.
It's just a process of having the right technique and throwing the right bait.
All these young anglers are fishing for 4 spots. The rules: catch the biggest fish you can, and you might land yourself on the Mercer County sectional team.
Looks like he guides it back with his right hand right here. Everybody that shows up gets a point, for being here. Big fish of the tournament gets a point. And at the end of the year, we give some extra points away for total weight.
Sure, it's competitive, but it's fishing. I mean, how stressful can it get?
Yeah, this is a lot more relaxing. And we also have Illinois. Gosh darn it.
Oh, that thing. No, try it.
Thank goodness for coaches.
A lot of the fun of it's just sitting here talking with your friends and doing what you love.
About fell in.
Did you actually film that?
At the end of the day, it's not about who reeled in the biggest bass or who caught the most fish.
I think I've caught more bluegills on topwater than I've ever caught in my life.
It's about friends casting out together and waiting for that big catch.
The fish was from his shoulder to his waist. It was a huge bass.
I have not seen anything like this.
It's clear.
It was about maybe waist high.
Mother Nature had it out for Dixon.
Tonight, this whole section of culvert crumpled.
Gripping her teeth into 7th Street. Biting through the concrete.
That's crazy.
And spitting it into the creek below.
A big chunk just fell.
Curious folks looked on in disbelief before snapping a quick picture.
Yeah, that's a lot of rain.
A lot of rain and a big headache for the newly elected mayor.
It is a big hole. The culvert itself galvanized, there was some rusting on it, and that gave way during all the water pressure from the flash flood.
You can see the water line right here.
Lou Sacchetti's home fell victim to the rushing waters from the broken culvert.
That's our freezer.
In the middle of remodeling his home, most of his belongings were in the basement, like these old pictures.
That's stuff you can't replace.
Generators are now pumping water out of homes and back into the creek, while crews pick up the leftovers Mother Nature left behind.
Yeah.
Shane Simmons, WQAD News 8.